That's a new watch?
No, I haven't had it for a bit.
Okay. Hi.
She just doesn't notice things about me very much. That means she ignores me.
Hi,
Hello.
everybody. Guess who?
It's us. It's the weekly dose.
That's right. From Tom Sewing.
And Surrey.
And we have some interesting things today.
We do. We have lots of cool stuff. And so I know we'll get to it in a second, but we've been saying that we have lots of classes coming up or whatever. And if you haven't been on our website lately, you'll notice that there are a ton that have been put in the class. So we'll do announcements here real quick, and then we'll jump into classes, and we're just going to highlight just a couple of them.
A few of them, because there are so many.
Okay,
so pick and choose.
We did. We got some samples that we're going to show and a few other things. So, demo sale. Okay,
Yes.
I should have asked Carrie how long the demo sale is for.
As long as they're there.
I kind of think so too, isn't it? Until they're kind of...
Yeah.
So anyways, the demo sale is still on. So we still have some demos to pick from.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
So it basically, what it is, it's the machines that have been taken out of the box and sitting on our table so that people can come and look and see it other than just a picture on a box. And you get a good price on them. There's a
same
discount.
warranty,
Same all
and
those,
it's serviced and checked out before it leaves.
well, and the funny thing is 95% of the time, or a good chunk of the time, the machine just sits there. Like, it's not even ever sewn on.
Exactly.
Because it's more because people just like to look.
Yeah.
And so you're getting a brand new machine, never sewn on or really anything other than maybe a couple of stitches here and there. For a brand new price, or for brand new, but for a discounted price. So if you're looking for a new machine, demo machines are definitely one of the ways.
Because same warranty, same everything.
Yeah, and
fresh out of the box. Yeah.
And if you're going for those bigger machines, then you don't have to worry about taking the box home if you don't want to.
Yes,
already
you
out of
do
the box.
have the option of not taking that great big box home, because trust me, those biggies, those high-end ones, they are coming in massive.
If you
it
have,
wouldn't fit in my little tracker.
If you haven't seen it, we do have, when the Radiance came in, we did put Tom in the box.
That's right. That's right.
So we do have that like on our list of things. So you just know how big some of those boxes are if we can get Tom in the box and still have room. And that was only at, just the one box. So yeah.
Yeah.
So we want to take and do that.
The fabric sale ends on Saturday. So close of day on Saturday, that sale will be over. And we are looking from 25 up to 40%. And if you take the end of the bolt, you're still getting the end of the bolt discount. Now, you need to purchase a meter. So, but we can all use up a meter of fabric.
End of bolt is only in store though.
Yes.
Because it just doesn't work on the
exactly.
computer.
Yes, absolutely. So, and like you have mentioned, there's a lot of classes. I think this year we've had more classes than ever.
Well, a lot has to do with, COVID it really put a damper in a lot of things. And it just threw off that rhythm where, now people are starting to get back into, I want to say normal, but it's not really normal because, we're all abnormal.
Yes,
but
exactly.
It's just, we're getting back into routines that we had before. We're getting out, we're wanting to get out, we're wanting to go into the things, whereas, there is a lot more demand for classes than what there was. Just because people got comfortable being at home, and now they're going, well, wait a minute, I'm getting sick of these same four walls. I want to get out. I want to meet people. I want to, so routine.
See some of my old friends.
Yeah, it's just getting back into that whatever. So it takes, you think, it was a very short period of time in the scheme of things. But it's got such a lasting effect afterwards as everything kind of works out all the kinks getting it. And so, but yeah, we've got a ton of classes that are coming up. So we're only going to highlight a couple.
And no preferences here whatsoever.
No, and in no particular order.
That's right.
But just ones we want to. First off, there is a ruler class. Okay, so
A series.
a series. Okay, it's going to be a series of 4. So this is from beginners up. Okay, so if you're interested in learning ruler quilting, have no idea where to start, this would be the class for you to take, because we're starting right from the very, very beginning. Now, the reason we're bringing this up, even though the class isn't until October, is right now there's only one spot left.
That's right.
It went up and
went up.
And
It
so
went up last week.
if you are interested, you need to register. And if it's full, get on the wait list.
Yeah.
So we will open up more class times. We have to confer with the teacher what her time frame is. So it may not
be that same
same day, but we will open up more classes. So get on the
Plus,
wait
we
list.
need to be able to order the rulers
In time.
at least a month ahead of time. So again, the first one's not until October. But those rulers would have to be ordered in September, and I know it seems like it's a long way away, but
It's not.
we all know how fast summer goes.
I can't believe it is the end of
I know.
June. Right? I'm just like, I don't know where the weeks go.
I hear you. I can remember when I purchased my ticket to go to Ottawa at the end of July, and I purchased it just before Christmas. And I'm thinking, oh, wow, it's such a long way away. Well, I'm just over a month away now before I head to Ottawa. So that's how fast it goes. And I realize I'm getting older, and therefore time does slip along there. But those of you with children know how fast a summer can go. So
Yes.
keep on top of the website for classes for anything that you might be interested in.
We have the tile class.
Yes.
Okay. So we're gonna hold this up. So there's still one more. I'm gonna hide behind it, but there's still one more. So you gotta see this. Okay. You go back a little bit because it's at an angle. There we go. Okay. Now again, on camera, it doesn't necessarily do it justice. Like there's one more row underneath here. This is from OESD. They have a series of tile classes. So this is the one that we're gonna kind of somewhat focus on in class, but it may not necessarily be everyone's cup of tea.
That one.
So in class, because the concepts are the same, if there is another tile scene that you would like to do instead of this one, you can still take the class.
Like the Santas?
Like the Santas, any one of them. Like this is the third in their Kincaid series.
Yes.
So there was the first one was the cottage one. Last year was Midnight Delivery, where it was still a cottage, but it had a little Santa on. I think, and then there's this one. There is a couple of the other Santas. So the concept that we're going to do is the same, and it really is understanding how to keep it stable without wasting a lot of fabric. Because if you look at the instructions, they want you to buy like 3 yards of fabric. And at the end of the day, you're only using a yard, so you know where the other 2 yards are going, don't you? So we take and stabilize in a little bit of a different way, and putting it together. There's some tips and some tricks on that kind of stuff, but they're gorgeous, and when they are done, they are a lot of work. But so if this tile scene isn't your cup of tea, and there's another one you want to do, don't worry about which one you pick.
Exactly.
The last time we ran this class, I think I had 4 different tile scenes in the class.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter. The concept's the same.
The concept's the same.
So maybe I'll do a Santa.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll come and do a Santa.
So we have that one. Kimberbell Day is coming up.
Yes.
And that is the end of July, the last Saturday in July.
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
So a couple of things we want you guys to be aware of. First of all, when you register, you do need to register both on Kimberbell website, and that gets you the free pattern.
Yeah.
You also need to register with us if you plan on coming and watching it here with us in person. And the advantages to that is, well, you get to see me and Carrie. And are you coming? Oh, no, you're in Ottawa, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
You won't see Deborah. She's ignoring us. We're going to have treats. Carrie will do a little
Yeah.
bacon. I'll do a little bacon. All that fun stuff. But we're also going to have some in-store prizes.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got some coming from different things. So we've got some in-store prizes, but you have to be present for those ones.
Yes.
Okay, so so we're going to be doing some in-store prizes for anyone who comes. So get registered both on Kimberbell
Yes.
for the free
And-
pattern and here to come visit with us. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's always.
It is early. It is 8:00 in the morning
That's right. Yeah.
on a Saturday. But we will have treats and we'll have the coffee pot on for those who need it.
To be here for that early, there are going to be a lot of people who need coffee. Just saying.
Just saying it's going to be here.
Then the Bargello class, one of our staff from Country Folk is coming here to teach this class, and we've been asked to have this class here in Surrey. So this is the time, like we don't get, it's a long way from Country Folk to come in here and teach, give up a Saturday and come here to teach a class. So if you've ever wanted to take that Bargello class here in Surrey, this is the time to sign up for it because it's probably going to only,
Doesn't
come
have-
up here
Very,
very
well.
infrequently. So get on that if you want it. So another biggie
Okay.
we want to talk about.
So we've talked a little bit about it, the Serger Club, but we didn't fully kind of explain
Right.
what Serger Club is. Okay, so what Serger Club is Baby Lock, the inventor of the Serger, has developed a professional series of classes.
Yeah.
There's at least 24 projects in this. There's probably more, and they probably will add more to it or whatever. Our lovely Ms. Monica, our Serger expert, took certification through Baby Lock to teach this class. So this is not a class that just anyone can pick up. This is a professionally developed, certified teacher course that Baby Lock is offering. We've looked at some of these projects. Oh, man. So if you've purchased a Serger, okay, and especially if you've purchased one and you spent more than $100 for it, no, I'm being facetious, but
Which is pretty much a given.
you probably want to get the most out of it. And so if you've taken our Serger level 1, that is recommended for this one.
It's a prerequisite.
Prerequisite. And you want to actually do things with your Serger other than sewing down the side of a thing. This class shows you how so many different techniques to take what you learned in Serger 2, 3, and 4, all those other ones too, but just taking your Serger to the next level.
Yeah.
And using it to make so many different projects. There was aprons, there was stockings,
Little baskets,
there's baskets, like there's so many different
table
ones, and it
runners,
uses those stitches in different ways in different places. And you're going, that was made on a Serger?
Stockings.
It's like, holy cow. So if you've got a Serger, this is definitely a course you want to take. It's not something you're going to get a lot of places. Baby Lock is the name in Serger.
Yeah, exactly.
It really is. And for them to develop this and have certified teachers, it just...
Because you really have to, their classes are quite extensive for their certification to be able to say that you are certified in this. It's not just, you just, watched a video.
No.
You actually have homework, and it has to be checked.
And it's not like an hour video. Like they're 2 or 3 days, all day.
Yes.
And then you've got lots of homework, and you actually have to submit the homework. So it's not just you do it and say, oh, look, that looks pretty. You actually have to submit it to the educators that look through it to make sure that, and then you get feedback and everything so that the quality is there. So it's not just, it's the YouTube video. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but the thing is, when you do it at home and you don't know where you've messed up,
Yes. Yeah.
or how to
exactly.
fix it.
Yeah.
Whereas these are actual classes where it's submitted, you get the feedback and stuff. So if you got a serger, these are the classes to take.
Just
And I'm like so contemplating on getting my serger in for repair. I know I've talked about it for a year now. I just have so much on the go, but when I seen these projects, I'm like going, ooh.
yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm like, So I'm like really far behind the 8 ball because my machine has to get serviced.
It needs to get here.
It needs to get here, and then but it's summer, so it ain't gonna get looked at until,
for a little bit of
the
time
fall.
anyway,
and then I still have to take level 1. I took it before, like
Yeah. Well, you
12 years ago.
You could have taken it with me.
yeah, but I didn't have my serger.
And what did I tell you to do about that?
I know. Snagging me. Anyways, so take those. Okay, a couple other classes we want to show you before we get into our things. So these are some of Annie's classes. So look at this one.
I love it. The tea cozy coaster
Yeah, and then the
and the
placemat.
placemat.
So this is one of her classes. I know I hit myself. I'm just gonna grab the camera. You can stay here because I'm just gonna run out the door
Right.
here.
I'm going to show you. This is the actual pattern that she's used to create these. I'm loving the colors. As people had known before, I'm into Christmas.
Oh yeah. Are we counting down when Christmas fabric is coming? Okay, so we're just going to, and I'm going to try not to get caught up in the fabric. Okay, so you got to look at these ones. Okay, so if you want to get a better look at them, you come on in. So we have the rolling mat. So it's a mat with a little built-in pillow, all that kind of stuff. That's a class. And then the tree skirt. So you can see those. I'm going to go back to Deborah and we'll talk about those ones for a minute. Oh, Deborah.
We're back.
So, well, because it's just right outside the door, and just a quick look. I didn't talk too much about them. Okay, so I'm just actually going to put this here because this is where I'm going to. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you all car sick.
This is. You showed this?
I showed that one.
This
So,
is the pattern that you need for that one.
and it's called what? Siesta Fiesta.
Yes.
Woohoo.
Yeah. That'd be cool. Good, like for your grandkids. Mine are too big for this now, but
Oh, you know that they would just because.
yeah, sure. I could make it for Malachi. I'd have to add double the length. But that's it. And this one, I love the tea cozy. I love it. Well, you make a pot of tea. You want to keep your tea warm till you finish, because one cup of tea just never quite cuts it. You have to finish the pot.
There you
Well,
go.
I do anyway. There you go.
Okay, we're going to move that out of the way. So I got to have room to work.
How rude.
I am. So, just in case anybody's wondering, because we've mentioned it a few times, I didn't have to do jury duty. I got an email like the day before, late afternoon, saying we no longer need you, which is better than the last time, because the last time I showed up and there's no parking around there.
No.
And so this
I
time,
took the train on time I had to go.
yeah, and it sucked, and so this time I was like, all right. So today what we're going to talk about is and I'm going to specify this now. Okay, so they're orange pop rulers. But if you hear me say clear blue tiles, they're both by Kimberbell, but I'm talking about the orange pop rulers. It's just, I have done a lot of classes with the clear blue
Both,
tiles. And
Because that's what she asked me for this morning.
and I get so many people asking me questions about those ones as well as these ones, but it's just it's on my brain, and it's kind of like my children. Once I screw it up once, I just mess it up. So if I say clear blue tiles, I really do mean orange pop rulers. Just remember, I'm old and senile and blonde. Just
Give
kidding.
it a rest, Judy. You're gonna have
Okay.
to let the blonde thing go.
No, I'm not. It is my crutch. I happily use it. Okay, so if you're unfamiliar with orange pop rulers, they are done by Kimberbell. They came out a few years ago, and these things are amazing. So we're going to talk about a little bit about the two of them. So they come in two different packages. One's a square pack, You get 3 of these ones, and then there's a solid one in here. And I meant to bring it, except for I misplaced my little baggie. I can't. The upside is I found the fabric for my other tile scene that I wanted to. Okay, it just...
We all have similar issues.
We
It's
all
okay.
do. Okay. So,
We
and
just
then...
don't broadcast.
We just, well, I would prefer not to either, but unfortunately. And then the other ones are the rectangle ones. So this is, and they come down. And in that one, they get those little tumbler rulers. So they're kind of, well, I haven't used those ones yet. But I love this little square one that came in the square ones because it was great for squaring up a 4-inch block. For, what's that pattern? Pinwheels.
Oh, right. Okay.
I loved it. And when I was doing some pinwheels, it was perfect. It was the only block that I found to help with my pinwheels. So hence why I haven't made pinwheels for a while, because I couldn't find my block. Okay. So when you open up the thing, just one thing, because I've had so many people who bring them in and going, well, it slides all over the place. There are little tiny little rough things that you get. There's a little strip of them in there. That is to be put on each of these corners, so when you are putting it down and putting it on your fabric or your mat, it doesn't shift, okay? Because you don't want it to shift. All right, so I'm going to tip the camera down so you guys can kind of see. All right. All right, I'm going to have to put you out further so you can see. There we go. Okay. All right, I'm going to work upside down, which is oh so much fun. It's a good thing I'm dyslexic. I can see things upside down. All right. Okay, the key to these things is you really do need a rotary mat. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it does make things a lot easier for moving things around. I mean, you can do it, and I have done it, and you can shift things or whatever. But once you get it centered, you really just want to keep it centered. So the rotary mat works great. And I am going to give a shameless plug for the Kimberbell one. I do love it. I had another one, but every time I picked it up, they fell apart, and it shifted and everything else like this. Kimberbell, like, look. Okay, I'm lifting it. It takes a lot because it holds there. Okay, so it really, and it's big enough for all of these things, and so it's my new favorite. Okay, I don't.
Yeah, I have to admit I like it too.
It is, and so if you can't get one now, like even like this way, like see, it likes to hold onto that table, which is really good when you're shifting things. So it's even when I have a cutting mat underneath, it still holds onto it. So it just, I love it. Just in case you didn't understand, I really love it. Okay, so what they originally designed them for, and I'm going to show it with this one. Okay, so when Kimberbell first started out their quilts, one thing Kimberbell is known for is that they have dimension to it. So I don't know if you guys can kind of see, but you might be able to see. But this little thing has some puffy foam in there. So there's some depth to it. And so the first quilt they came out was their Christmas one. And when you were trying to square up the quilts and you've got your block, couldn't find my smaller ruler. What happens is when you sit this ruler on here, it rocks.
Yep.
And so when you're trying to square it up to 4 1/4 or 4 1/2, you tip it this way and then you cut. I'm going out this way. You tip it, and then when you go on this side and then it tips this way, when you were everything was set down and you put it down on the thing to measure it, it's actually smaller than 4 1/4, 4 1/2. Because when you tip it, you're losing some.
Yes.
You know, even if it's like 1/16, you are still losing. And then because different patterns had different depths,
Yep.
so not all the blocks were coming out square or straight or the same size, and then your seams weren't matching up, and it was getting quite frustrating. So that's why they came out with these orange pop rulers. So then what you would just take and do is, as you can see, you just pop this, and then you can center it however you want it, okay? And then you would cut on the inside instead of the outside. The other thing I'll just show you about this, really cute. Okay, so the key to this is, and this is where this comes in. Okay, So you get it comfortable, you get it centered where you want it, okay? Now you're going to cut opposite of what you're used to, okay? So if you're right-handed like me, you're gonna cut on this side, but you're gonna cut on the inside here, okay? So you're gonna open this up.
You're gonna cut?
I am gonna cut.
Okay.
In our imagination. Imagine, no. Okay, cut, of course I'm gonna cut. Okay, so you here, and you're going to, see now this is why, see with these things here, it's not shifting. You're gonna hold this down, this here, and you're going to apply pressure and push towards this side. Because if you don't, you're gonna go like this, and that's gonna not end well, okay? So push against the edge. This is where the rotary mat comes in handy, see? And I don't have to shift anything. And I just keep right on trucking. Beep, beep. Beep, beep. Now look how, now I think I need a new blade.
Uh-oh. We sell those.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I have to go buy. Actually, I think I probably have like 4 of them at home.
Yeah, me too. This is not something you want to run out of.
No. Yeah, I do need a new blade. All right. Okay. So, and now I have this nice, perfect little, and he is 4x4, 4.5 by 4.5. So if I hold this right here,
Perfect.
4.5 by 4.5. It is perfect.
What a good girl.
I am. You got to use these things. Now, the other thing is sometimes Kimberbell and all the places have now come out with background quilting. And people sat there and said, oh, I don't need to use the orange pop rulers anymore because the background quilting, it gives me that cut line. And so I'm just going to cut on that cut line. Well, I'm going to give you a little tip on that. You still need your ruler. So I don't know if you guys can see my little black dotted line here. This is my line here, and I might have to pull you guys a little bit closer. When you do embroidery, it is the nature of the beast. This is why you have to stabilize things, is that you get pull. No matter what stabilizer, because I've got the battleizer or the project batting underneath there and all those kind of things, you're still going to get pull. And so where's my 8.5 square? This. So if you look, okay, I'm gonna just do here, then you guys can see. Okay, I'm gonna bring you guys close so you guys can see. If you guys can see this dark line, this is where okay, so it's even here, it's even here. If I was to cut on my dark line using my regular rulers, I would be almost like 1/4 of an inch out. So it'd be 1/8 of an inch on all of them. And of course, because when you're doing projects, each project would have different levels of embroidery, so there would be different levels of pull. So some you would get a little bit more of a pull, some you'd get less. So you still need to use your orange pop rulers. You still need to center it. So I've got that nice and centered, okay? And I'm just going to trim all the way around. This is my new project.
Okay.
I am making a whole bunch of little bee saying little things that I'm going to do. I'm going to show these in a weekly dose later on. And then that, so yeah, just, it's not quite up there because it's not. Remind me when I get home to change my blade.
Oh, I'll do that.
Okay. And so, see, it comes out nice and pretty. Okay. So this is like a Kimberbell one. And then The other one's Juju. See? Now, do you only use them for machine embroidery? No. Okay, this is where, now I'm going to show this. I'm doing a quilt. Okay, now, I got 101 things going, but
I'm doing a quilt.
I am.
What do we do here?
I know, but this is a baby quilt.
Okay,
And so
right.
I have a bunch of my 6.5 by 6.5. Okay. So I thought I had more of these blocks that were ready to be trimmed down. But no, I've already trimmed those ones down. The other ones aren't ready. But I pulled this one. I'm like, yeah, I got one. The reason why it's not is because it's gimpy. So please ignore the gimpiness. It's not going to affect the thing. So if you're doing regular quilt tops and you're doing blocks, these are great for helping to make sure that you're lining things up. So you can see I have my center line here. So I can sit there and line this up if it was straight. Also, when I ironed it, I don't know, there's something on my iron that, so this is just a gimpy thing. So you can use it to help line up so that you're not twisting it
Right.
or anything else like that. You're getting it nice and centered. This one is 8.5. So I can do it one of two ways. If my block was 6.5, I could do 6.5 here in the center, or 8.5 by going on the outside. But it just, yeah, you see, you guys can't quite. Yeah. So it helps to make sure that those blocks that you're doing are centered and getting cut straight. Because there's been times where I'm like lining it up and I cut this way or whatever, and then I spin it, and there's just a little bit of a different. This way, again, they're going to be squared. Everything is going to be lined up. So they work for those. The other place you can use them for is if you're fussy cutting.
Yes.
Okay. So I was looking for something that I had a decent sized pattern for, and I've been making some. Okay, so I'll do it this way. See, I'm just making a mess here. All right. So this little one here, let's see, let's do this classic car here. So I want my 4x4. So I want the block to be 4x4. So you can see here, okay, there we go, we're out. I can fussy cut exactly going, all right, you know what? If I'm doing these ones, my 4x4 is not going to be quite beat. So then I can go a little bit bigger, or I can pick some other ones. But it's great for fussy cutting. And then you can get them and make sure that they're all going to be kind of right in there.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you want to do it on an angle, right? You've got that angle, like that would work really cool. And then I can make sure, see, like right there on that edge, right here on that edge, right there on that edge. And I'm good.
Perfect. Yeah.
Right? And so I could cut it out. Do you want me to cut it out?
No.
I could. I don't know that I'd ever.
You're making me nervous. So she's gonna do it.
Okay. I was gonna do a no, I know. Okay, when you're dealing with bigger fabric, you kind of want to turn. Oops, that disappeared on me. May have to. I have too much stuff here that it's hitting, so just, it's not going to be perfect simply because I'm not working on my big open space.
And I find anytime I'm not working in my own space, everything's just a little bit more challenging. Very cute.
See? So fussy cut, so like anything, you've got all the different sizes. And one thing I like about these rulers is if you're playing around with them, close that before I get fired. So even though the biggest size in the squares is technically 8.5 by 8.5. It actually, if you use the outside, it's 10.5 by 10.5. I'm gonna pop you guys back up so that you're not looking down on us, even though they do anyways. So you've got the different sizes, and you can play around with these as well. Is because, let's say, for example, and I love doing this one, especially with the rectangle ones. So if you have a block that you need it more narrow than tall, or you want it taller and narrow. So this one here is 8.5 by 10.5. Okay, and then this one that fits into it is 6 by 8. So if I put them together, I could make a block, cut it out, and using the top part and the bottom part, I have now a 10.5 inch, actually that'd be 12.5 inch block, tall. And then if I cut in the center, I have a 6.5. No, 8.5. 8.5 inch. So I can now take and cut tall and narrow and adjust them to the sizes that I want. So like if I'm fussy cutting, like let's say I had fabric with a beautiful flower on it and it was tall but narrow, I could still use these and just patch them up together to get the height
And then, yeah.
and the narrowness. And so they are so very versatile for both embroidery, cutting out those bumpy blocks, and regular sewing, for fussy cutting, for cutting out your blocks and making sure that they are square,
Yeah.
and lined up, all that fun stuff. So
Well, I can say I wish I'd ordered mine earlier because I do a lot of embroidered quilts, blocks, and then put them together. It would have really eliminated, especially with the cutting board as well, helping quick. It would have been a lot faster than slice it, turn this block, slice it.
yes,
And yeah, it would,
But you-
because they're all the same. Once you're getting to putting them together, they're all the same size. in
Yes.
the ones that I picked, so would have been a major help. But moving forward, I will have the set.
well, they are, and like I said, when they were first brought out was for those quilts, and when you've made one without them and made one with them, night and day, so much better. And then when they came out with the background quilting, it was, I don't need to use them anymore because it's got that line. But you'll notice that I was running back into that problem again, because even though I did have them, I was like, I got to get them down, but I didn't have the rotary bolt or the rotating mat. I had my other one, but it was a pain in the butt to use. It kept falling apart, and so for me it was more frustrating. So I would just use the lines, but then I was running back into that problem of that the corners weren't lining up and my seams weren't lining up because this block was cut out at just slightly smaller or whatever. It's because of that shrinkage. And so I've now gone back to making sure that I do use the Orange Pop rulers for cutting out those blocks. I don't rely on that. So between my rotary mat and these. So I know it's early, but if you don't have them, definitely they are ones, that I would strongly suggest that you do invest in, especially if you do a lot of machine embroidery.
Yeah.
But Christmas is not that far away.
Put it on your list.
Put them on your Christmas list. Do make sure, like, if we don't have them in stock, because we do clear out, like, they come in.
Yeah, they
and-
go fast.
Yeah, they come in and then they're right back out the door. So, you can order them, and then when they come in, you can
Yep.
get them. If you got a birthday between now and then, or to spoil yourself, I'm all for that. Just
Yeah, exactly. Or you know what? In my case, you can buy it for yourself.
Yes, there you go.
Birthday for
They are a good investment. You'll find that just for certain things, you're just going to get nicer, cleaner cuts. Now it does take a little bit because you are to cutting on this side as opposed to this side, or if you're left-handed, the opposite side. Just low and slow, and then just take a couple of just some fabric and just practice this. The key is pushing up against the plastic, and as long as your pressure is against that plastic, so you got the little grippers on there, your pressure, and just a little bit of pressure, and then it'll be really great. So
Cool.
yeah, there you go.
All right. So that's us for this week.
That is us for this week. I'd say go out and enjoy the weather, but it's cloudy and cold. I'm just not liking this. I want some sun. The upside is that with my garden, because it's been rainy, I haven't had to be the one to go and water the garden because it's watering it for me, which is good. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we will see you next week. Make sure you check out the website for upcoming classes. The other thing I was going to mention for you, those of you who are into Hoop Sisters, we now have them as an affiliate link on our website. So, I mean, we've been dealing with them for a while, and then just now they've got the affiliate links on there. So, for those who are not aware, we have affiliate links. So, if you go on our website, the homepage, you scroll down to the bottom. There, it'll say affiliates links, and it's got Kimberbell, and then Kimberbell Me Time, Sweet Pea, OESD, and now Hoop Sister. So if you click on that, it'll take you directly to their website, and then anything that you purchase, it comes back.
Yeah, I'm a Hoop Sisters fan.
Yeah, it. So then we get some credit, and then it also helps us when we're trying to, plan things out. When you guys, if you have issues or whatever, then we can know that. Oh yeah, it's through here, and so we can help. So, all right.
Okay.
Have a great day, and we will see you next week. I think that's July, isn't it?
It is July.
See you in July.
That's right. I know, right? Okay.
Have a great day.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.